I said this in January 2024. Not claiming to be a prophet or a social analyst, but from common sense. That whereas the previous government on the national level intimidated everybody and cowered everybody to obedience and to silence, it reduced opposition. The present one will pecuniarily cajole everybody into acquiescence. Gradually, all the other parties are collapsing into one party. Well, it shouldn't surprise you, because this is the only country in the world that I know, as not the only one that exists, not where elections are conducted on the tickets of parties. The name and picture of the candidate does not appear. And that candidate carries the banner of his party, they call him flag bearer, and that party wins the election, he gets into the position and changes his party and remains in power. I don't understand it. Senators who are here, if you do, explain to me. We elected a party whose flag bearer is this, and you are no longer happy with the actions of that party. Leave the party and leave the office and campaign for another position. That would be what I regard as legal. But that is not the main problem. One party is not our problem. If we maintain a system of government where there are checks and balances, and a Kudoku party. I have always said it publicly many times that in Nigeria we don't have political parties based on ideologies. We have platforms for getting into power, remaining in power, having access to public funds, and sometimes for some of them, there are platforms for avoiding prosecution after embezzlement. For some, there is no How many of the people in APC now did not flow from PDP and other parties? And how many people in ADC now did not flow from other parties? Moving like fluid and gas between tanks without return valve. This is taking all of us for a ride, and we line up in the afternoon to vote for you. But that is not the worst problem. The worst problem is that there are no longer three arms of government. There is only now one arm of government, the executive. The executive has sucked up both the judiciary and the legislature. Legislators here, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If you can stop the borrowing of some that is 40-something or 80-something trillion that is already budgeted to finance the budget deficit now. Prove me wrong if you can insist on the electoral reform that will make our votes count. Prove me wrong if you can say no to the decisions of the executive. Not even local government councillors who can oppose the chairman. But she tried, I mean, he said, I'm representing my people. Okay, I thought you were there. Already our people here there. Get to me and in River State. If the legislature, over my judiciary, had the mantra of the executive, the judiciary, because you know, when a government in power so impoverishes the people that the only way to survive is to depend on the executive, imagine they can no longer be free to exercise their rules. And since Okey was a senator who stood and spoke for his people, I am begging and challenging not only other senators, but especially senators who will come from our area to replace him, which will not require. Uchu no do prayer because he hate. I will continue to remember Okey Ezea in his two expressions. Okey Ezea said, Okey Ezea, mape atamayape. Mape atamayape. An insignificant deity will always have a useless priest. By then, indicating that the quality of representation and the leadership we have in Nsukka is because we are no longer worth what we are supposed to be. And by the way, the Nsukka mentality is the only surviving mentality in Igbo land. And it is a force to reckon with, even though some think it is a weakness. Nsukka area is the only place now in Igbo land where onye Lugbo esike ya sigi na abonye esika, onye Hamfu sigi na abonye esika, onye Umuropa sigi na abonye esika. Ma Nsukka na onwe ejugu ndị Lugbo esike imeka when you come to think of it. Because we are still united, not minding that because of that Nsukka is often treated as a community, not as several communities and several local government areas. And Okey will always say, if people who constitute the majority in a democratic dispensation continue to lament about marginalization, they should look inwards for the cause of their problems. This is what I remember about that man, this man. And then where the opportunity to advance the cause of representing our people and seeking that the right things are done, you have a challenge before God and before His people. And then the Pharaoh may think that I'm talking to politicians. Are you not aware that many of us have been sucked up by politicians? Are you not aware that all our even so-called traditional religious leaders, whether they are religious, Islamic or Christian or ancestral leaders, that are all now, many of us are now at the beck and call of the powers that control the money bags. This is a moment for examination of conscience for all of us, because before God, we stand for judgment, and whether we will go into life eternal or into damnation eternal depends on whether we have kept our light burning. Lord, the Cleophas in the Bible appeared only once in his moment of confusion, but honest search. That search led him to the encounter of the risen Lord, and it led to a turn that united him to the Lord and his community forever. Our own Cleophas, who took that name, we believe he had his own struggles and doubts. We are pleading that when he comes before you, you bear in mind the little lamps of oil he held and listen to our prayer on his behalf. Chioma, Okey, no moya. Ndama is no but the batagro, but the balagem, but Okroyotar, on an Okroyon, rock baragada, you go yesh. Okey is gone. The traffic to your house will reduce and will eventually disappear. Organize yourselves. Antoni, we pray for you and we mourn with you. But let your mourning not be like those without hope. Because for all who believe in the Lord, life is not ended but changed. Kamprobi Cleophas, Okey Ezea, na mkpụrụ obi niile kwere n'ụgara aka.